The honourable member for Esquimalt, Saanich, Sooke.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'll begin with some brief remarks, but I want to spend the majority of my time on questions to the Minister. We all know that we ask the women and men of the Canadian Armed Forces to do difficult and dangerous work on our behalf each and every day at home and abroad. And as parliamentarians, we have a responsibility to make sure that they receive the training, the equipment, and the support they need, both while they're serving and as veterans. So tonight, whether we're talking about actual dollars of spending, or we're talking about procurement or deployment, we have to make sure that we keep the serving members and their families central to what we're talking about here tonight. The Canadian Armed Forces faces many challenges, we all know, with recruiting and retention. And meeting those challenges is essential to make sure that the Canadian Armed Forces reflect the faces of our nation. Certainly, the Canadian Armed Forces and DND have much work to do when it comes to dealing with some key issues like sexual assault within the military and mental health issues. This is both a matter of justice and a matter of how we are investing in those who serve their country, and a necessity if we are ever to meet those diversity goals. As members will know, one of my concerns has been how the Canadian Armed Forces has been dealing with mental health issues, and I do acknowledge that there has been some progress made. But I still have a large concern about death by suicide within the Canadian Forces. We are still losing one serving member a month to death by suicide. That's over 160 members since 2005. It's a tragedy for all those families, and it's a tragedy for our country. And that number doesn't even include reservists, because unfortunately we don't even keep good statistics on deaths by suicide by reservists. And of course it doesn't count veterans who may be suffering from PSD. So while there has been progress in acknowledging that not all injuries within the military are visible, we still have so much more to do. And we had one very big opportunity to do something in this area earlier this year. When we were talking about Bill C-77, the Military Justice Reform Bill, I proposed an amendment to remove self-harm as a disciplinary offense in the Canadian Military Code of Conduct. We held hearings, and we heard from witnesses like Sheila Fines, who lost a son to death by suicide while he was serving. We heard from experts on mental health. We heard from senior members of the Canadian Forces. And we had indications from a majority of committee members that they would support my amendment. I do want to thank the Conservatives for their early support in trying to remove this barrier to treatment of mental health issues that's both symbolic and practical. However, 30 minutes before we were to vote in committee on my amendment to remove self-harm as a disciplinary offense, the minister sent an email letter to every member of the committee asking us not to do this. And so the Liberals then voted against my amendment, saying it was out of order in a military justice reform bill, which is passing strange, since this is a bill that was already amending the Code of Conduct in several other places. So I have a very direct question to the minister. Why did he ask the committee not to remove this barrier to the treatment of mental health issues and to this very severe problem we have with death by suicide in the military? Why did you ask committee members not to remove Section 98C of the Military Code of Conduct?
Minister of National Defence.
Madam Chair, I actually thank the member for his passion and his dedication to women and men in the Canadian Armed Forces, and also his advocacy for the support for when it comes to mental health. Madam Chair, I actually agree on the objective that the member is talking about. How do we reduce the stigma? How do we make sure that we reduce the number of suicides? Because one suicide is too many. We have a number of initiatives. With regards to this, we want to make sure that everybody can get the support that they need, Madam Chair. And this is, we want to make sure that we study the issue of self-harm further, and I encourage the member I'm happy to be able to continue to work together on this. I'm very proud of the work that has been done, and thank the committee members on the bill. I've also spoken with many families. Know far too many people who have suffered those challenges, and we have to continue to evolve our support. I've been working very closely with the Minister of Veterans Affairs on the joint suicide prevention strategies. We're evolving our support. And this is something that we're going to have to continue to evolve, Madam Chair. And I encourage the member so that we can work together on this. A lot more work that needs to be done, but I just want to thank the member again for his efforts.
The honourable member for Esquimalt, Saanich, Sooke.
Well, through you, Madam Chair, I don't understand what the minister wants to study. We already heard the witnesses in committee, including mental health experts. We heard from the families of those who've lost loved ones to death by suicide. There is nothing to study here. Mm-hmm. We know that the existence of this section of the Defense Act is a barrier to people getting the treatment they need. We know that it is both a symbolic barrier and sometimes a practical barrier, as people are assigned minor discipline for attempts to take their own lives. How is this helpful? And so I've rewritten that amendment into a private member's bill, C426, and I'll be asking for unanimous consent in the House to pass that bill in all its stages. So I ask the minister once again, what is he waiting for when we all know that this would be a major step forward, both symbolically and practically, in addressing this crisis within the Canadian Armed Forces?
The honourable minister.
A number of steps. We want to make sure that our members have the appropriate support. We want to reduce the stigma from when it comes to any type of mental health issues. At the end of the day, Madam Chair, we both agree on the objective. It's very important that we work together. I am happy to continue these efforts. I think, like I said, we share the same values in this regard. Making sure that our folks have the right support, whether it's from the joint preventing suicides, making sure that they're well supported right from the beginning, Madam Chair. We're taking steps from the time somebody is recruited. We're making sure that they're taught right from the beginning to be able to get the support, making sure that the training system is also built, making sure that the leadership is also trained so they can identify any issues that may come up, Madam Chair. This is something that we do agree upon, and I look forward to working with the member on this further.
For Esquimalt, Saanich, Sooke.
Well, through you, Madam Chair, I simply don't understand what it is that the minister thinks we need to work on jointly on this. We have the support of the Conservatives. We have the support of almost all other members in the House. We had the support, apparently, of Liberal members in the committee until the minister intervened. So I will be, as I said, asking for unanimous consent at some point, and I hope that the minister rethinks his inexplicable opposition to taking this very positive step. Now, I want to turn to